YouTube, the final frontier. These are the live streams of the channel Captain McKay Random. Its continuing mission? To explore strange new action figures, to seek out new hobbies and new conversations, to boldly stream where no one has streamed before.
Yes. First of all, we can. Rest in peace, Bill Goldberg. Rest in peace, Undertaker. Sorry that the Saudi Arabia match apparently killed both of them. Speaking of Undertaker, I don't know if I ever showed my Rite of Passage Undertaker. It's basically just that network spotlight figure with the basic SummerSlam figure head on it. Not my favorite Undertaker head, but it matches that 97, 98 Undertaker pretty well, I think. And that's like one of my favorite Undertaker career moments. So, here we are once again. Let me just zone this up a little bit. We'll be in good shape. There we go. Move this over too. God, I'm so unprepared for this tonight. How's everybody doing? I did see several people in here already, which is nice. I did see, I have not booked Jeff Jarrett in JWF. That's what it stands for, is Jarrett Wrestling Federation. No, it doesn't. But you better believe if I get a Jeff Jarrett figure, if Mattel ever finally comes to their senses and makes a good one, not the Double J with the Spaceman thing, but I'm talking about Jeff Jarrett, 98, 99 era, Intercontinental Champion, yeah. He'll be in JWF, of course. Superpowered Films, what's going on? Kaimo Films, Undertaker, no, not really, not literally. Undertaker and Goldberg apparently just had a terrible match in the big, I forget even what the show was called, Super Showdown, or was that one of the other ones? I don't know. But moral of the story is they both were just exhausted, I guess, and unable to do their moves right, so people kept getting hurt, and I guess that was the whole thing. So, anybody watch that, by the way? How, besides that, catastrophe of a match, how was that show? I haven't heard a lot of good things about it. Let's see. What did I see? I didn't even watch that show, come to think of it. I don't think I've watched either show in 2 weeks, and I don't miss it. I don't blame you. I haven't seen a ton of it since, WrestleMania last year. I've seen bits of it here and there, and it's sad. If we're talking about wrestling for a few seconds here, it's sad the amount of talented wrestlers they have that still don't make me want to watch it. I'm like, I know these guys are all awesome, but I also know that they're going to bore me with the scripted promos and all the advertisements popping up instead of the matches and all this stuff. And that stupid snap zoom they do when people hit each other. It's like every time I take a swig for the working man, it's just going to be like, whoa, that's what I'm doing. It's bad. It's bad television production, and I don't understand it. Let's see. I watched 0% of the show. Only watched the death of Taker and Goldberg live in the ring. Yeah, that's what everybody is talking about from that show. I guess, was it an NXT guy won the big battle royal? I don't know. I don't know who this guy is. Swig a beer for the working man. The show was decent. Andrade and Valor match was good. Orton versus Triple H was good. Probably the best matches on the show. Well, alright. At least there's some redemption to that show. Space Case, I did not pick up the ringside flashback Hardy's set. At least not yet. That's one of those sets that I like it, but I'm probably going to try and wait until I catch it on a sale. Because ringside does discount a lot of their exclusives for certain things. And especially if you can get it damaged packaging or loose or something like that. So I'd be down to try and get it for that. I should actually do that when I try to take a sip. Well, every time I take a sip might get a little much for me to have to lean forward. My cousin and I watched the Raw after that. My cousin told me the ratings for Raw have dropped hard. I can see why, and I only watched a few minutes of that episode of Raw. It says Flaming Dumpster Fire Heathcliff. Raw has become, and this is like last year was probably the last, or no, early this year I watched a little bit of Raw, and it doesn't engage the audience. It doesn't make anybody feel like they're excited to see what happens next. It's just like something to kill time while you're watching it, and then they start having like a good match. Like the match I was watching was Seth Rollins and was it Bobby Lashley maybe? I don't know. Point is, they would start doing cool things in the match, and then the match would like kind of zoom out to like a little side picture in picture, and then you'd get like an advertisement for like, here's what's sponsoring the show right now. I'm like, I don't care about that. Put a little graphic on the bottom so that I can still see the wrestling I'm meant to be watching. I don't know. Did I enjoy E3? What I saw, yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge gamer, but they they talked about Doom Eternal, so I'm big into Doom, so I gotta get that. And there was a couple other interesting things that kind of piqued my imagination a little bit, but nothing too mind-blowing, except Doom got a release date, November of this year, so I'm happy. Bash says, do I collect any movie-based figures? Not typically. If there are some that I like movies that I'm connected to from like being a kid, then yeah. So like I got there's no way you're going to see this from this angle, but up there is the NECA, there we go, the movie Ninja Turtles from the first movie. And I have like one or two based on like the Batman movies, like the Michael Keaton and Christian Bale ones, but like the Avengers movies and stuff, I don't really buy the movie figures because I'm not a huge fan of the costumes in the movies a lot of the time. Like Iron Man is an exception because he still just basically looks like the same in the comics and whatever, but yeah, not usually. Thanks again for coming to the live stream, says Kaimo Films. Oh, and happy early birthday to Flaming Dumpster Fire. Kaimo Films, yeah, that was cool that I got to be in there for a little while. What was I doing? I had a little bit of time before I got to pick my girlfriend up from work, and I saw that you were going to start streaming, so I'm like, let me get in there, talk about some Godzilla, talk about a little bit of the action figures and stuff. And that 2019 Godzilla did look pretty cool, the Monster Arts one. I'm a little tempted, but I'm also facing down some bills the next couple of months. I'm going to try and pay my car off, and then pay 6 months worth of insurance. So that's going to be costly. Plus King Ghidorah is supposedly going to be shipping at the end of the month, so any day now I'm going to get that email. Excited about that. But that also means a lot less money for me, so we'll see how that goes. Zombie says, Contra Classics collection released today. Oh, did it really? That's awesome. I didn't know it was coming that soon. I knew it was coming, but that's awesome. Dolph and Kofi wrestled each other 28 times. Oh my god. I believe it, though. I honestly believe it. Banjo and Kazooie and Smash as DLC. Is this a new Smash, or is this the whatever they've been doing most recently with like the Castlevania guys and some of that stuff? I'm gonna switch the audio. Give me 1 second. Oh no, I don't need to. It looked like the mic was on like a lower setting, but apparently people are hearing me okay, so that's good. Kirk Holland going to sing now. Bye. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Finally got on time to watch this live. Chino, welcome. I don't know what kind of time difference you have over there, but, well, Mexico's south, and I'm trying to think if you would be in a different time zone than me or not. But either way, welcome. Glad you could be here. Let's see. I did see somebody, Latoya, asked thoughts on the Avengers game. I don't really have any thoughts on it. I watched like a little bit of the preview, and it doesn't really show me what kind of a game it's going to be. So, like, I was basically just watching a cinematic scene, but it didn't show me like what to expect from the actual game. So I'm waiting to see that. Bash said, watch the first 4 Friday the 13th movies this week. I'd never seen them before. I was entertained, but I have no desire to watch movies 5 through 10. I don't blame you there. First, God, I can't even remember the last time I saw any of the old ones. The one I saw most recently was the remake from like 2009, I think it was, which was surprisingly good. It had, like, now that you've seen the first couple movies, it had a lot of the best elements of the first 3 of the movies, in one setting. So I guess if you're going to watch any more Friday the 13th movies, that would be the one to check out just to see what you think of their more up-to-date telling of the story with better, special effects and everything. You know what? I actually watched superpowered films, and this ties in with that and the Friday the 13th. I finally checked out Halloween, the one from the end of last year, which was meant to be the sequel to the original Halloween, even though it has the same name as the movie. So it's technically Halloween 2, but it's not called Halloween 2. Yeah, we talked about all this when it came out. But yeah, pretty good, I thought. Not groundbreaking or anything, but there's a lot of really cool stuff they were doing in it, and I dug it. I really liked the the scene where like Michael Myers is walking around while like going in and out of people's houses, and how you just see him like creepily walking by the side of somebody's window, and then he just appears in the back of the house and walks up to the camera, and like I like that. I thought that was really cool. I'm going to Philly Friday for Comic-Con. Going to try to meet some of the cast from Gotham. Do you watch Gotham? I've seen I've seen the first, I think, 2 episodes, and then I just never watched it again. It's not that I didn't like it, but it's just that it didn't really keep my attention. Plus, I don't pay for cable, so I had to like watch it online, and that was the whole thing. So, are they in their last season though? Is that what I was hearing? Zombie, yeah. Jason X is a guilty pleasure, oh, for sure. Oh, Bash, you already watched the '09 remake. Cool. How did you? If you had to compare them, what would you say you preferred? Like the newer style or like the old school slasher? Kaimo says the SH Monster Arts is really good, but priorities, bills, and insurance before Godzilla toys. It hurts to say that, but it's true. Yeah. I mean, it's a bummer, but I figure instead of making car payments from now till the rest of the year or till the end of the year, I'll just pay it all off once. It'll hurt, but I'll make the money back by not having to make those payments from now till the end of the year, and maybe buy some more Godzilla stuff. And speaking of, somebody I saw mention the 56 poster version, the NECA one. I think it looks pretty cool. It's kind of a cool novelty. NECA does pretty good with their more unusual figures. Like I have their video game Godzilla from the Nintendo game, where he's like kind of light blue and has like pixelated designs on him, and it's pretty cool. So I'll probably get the poster one too, just to have that set up somewhere. They just ended Gotham. Okay, gotcha. Latoya says, what is the last full year that I watched WWE? Probably like 2003? Because I stopped watching midway through like 2004, I think. Yeah, something like that. I like the '09 movie just fine. Needed more Tommy Jarvis, though. Yeah. Superpowered films. '09 remake is something for sure. Prefer the originals. I mean, I could see an argument for that. The '09 remake kind of takes everything about the originals that was good, and you could argue overdoes it. Like, it's to the point of parody, almost. But I'm okay with that. There have been so many of those, particularly Friday the 13th movies, those slashers, where they almost become parodies of themselves as it is. And, I kind of figured that out from watching this Halloween a couple of nights ago, that it was well done enough where it could still be taken seriously, but it wasn't like way over the top like some of the earlier Michael Myers movies were, where it got insane with like Busta Rhymes and like in the reality TV show House and all that. So I'm happy about it. Let's see. What is my opinion on WWE's new pay-per-view Stomping Ground? Is it going to be like different from any of the other pay-per-views? I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with it to really have an opinion. Okay, favorite Zelda game if I have one. Joseph Miga? I don't know if I got one. I've only played, let's see, Ocarina of Time I played, and I didn't beat it because I got to a hard part and I just kept playing Perfect Dark instead. I think I played the original, no, I'm sorry, I played Zelda 2 on Nintendo, the side-scroller. But even that, I didn't beat that either. So I don't honestly think I've ever given any of the Zelda games a real fair chance. And it's funny, too, because I still got the 64 out there, so I could play... Well, I still got the Nintendo, too, actually. So I could still play Zelda 1 and 2, because I got them. I could still play Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Got those. My roommate has the Switch one, so I could probably play that. I don't know what's kept me from playing these games all these years, but maybe I'll treat myself one of these days. Let's see. Kaimo says, just got a dozen clear boxes in Tupperware, 17 knitting canvas, and some soft foam for building and future projects. Took some inspiration from your buildings. Cool, man. That's awesome. Glad I could help with some ideas there. I got to make some more cool buildings for the next time I decide to make a Godzilla-themed video. Because I do want to make another one, sequel to Aftermath at some point, and I know people have asked about that. Maybe not anybody in here, but, you know, people who like leave comments on that video, so... Gotta do it. Gotta do it at some point. Bash says, what are some super popular video games that you suck at? I feel like I'm trash at console games. Well, Zelda, I guess. I suck because I got stuck at one part and just gave up. Let me think. Oh, let's see. Video games wise, I was always able to be okay at the earlier console games. I was always okay at. Like lately though, like Call of Duty or anything like that where it's like cover-based shooter, I'm terrible at it. Like as soon as I stick my head out from behind the rock, I get shot or something. Like it's like I just always lose at those. Like Doom is another story because you're meant to run around and just fight everything you see. But anything that's like a shooter where you have to like hide regularly, I'm not good at it. Still want Godzilla versus Vader. Logan. Oh yeah, we talked about Banjo in Smash. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Chino says, if I had the time and money to make your perfect stop motion, what would I do? With no limits, if I had all the time, and if I had all the money to buy everything I needed. That's a really good question. I don't know. Wow, yeah. I guess I never really thought about that. Now I'm going to be thinking about that for a while. Let's see. Oh, The Crow. What did I think of The Crow? Alex version 1 asks. Yes, I have watched it, but not in a long time. I remember seeing it when it was probably high school or something, but it wasn't bad. I think it was probably pretty good. I mean, I don't remember a ton about it because I was young, but still. It's worth a rewatch, I guess. I know there was a lot of sequels that were terrible, so I'm going to stay away from those, obviously. But, yeah, the first movie I hear is pretty good. It's kind of like The Matrix, where, like, the first one is awesome, and then the sequels are just awful. So, I don't know. WCW Vader with giant smoke helmet. Yeah, my Vader figure that I got in the ring back there, he comes with the big Mastodon helmet. You could get smoke going from that also. Be awesome. Let's see. Latoya says, what's your favorite female-led movie? Genre matter. Female lead? Like, main character? That's a good question, too. I don't know. Like... I'm trying to think of, like, I've seen plenty of movies where, like, a female lead is, like, the main character, but I don't know if any of them would be, like, my favorite of them, because a lot of them are, like, either dramas or, like, yeah, I guess something like Silence of the Lambs would be a good example. Superhero-wise, I guess I could say Wonder Woman, because to me, like, yeah, you don't have a lot to pick from, unfortunately. Captain Marvel wasn't as good as Wonder Woman, I don't think, and, besides that, what do you have? You have that terrible Halle Berry Catwoman. Yeah, you don't have a lot. Just say Wonder Woman. Yeah, okay. Would I prefer Razor Ramon or Scott Hall? Razor Ramon for his ability to do his job really well and not be like a train wreck backstage and be drunk all the time. But Scott Hall as a character is like easier to take a little more seriously than, Razor Ramon, Scarface in the ring. I did eat his liver, yes. More Godzilla or I unsubscribe. Yeah. I forgot the old videos where arguing with Wolverine just to try and get the point across. That was... I forget where I came up with that idea, but I was like, I'm just gonna have Wolverine be like the spokesperson for like impatient YouTube viewers that like ask me where things are, like when they're just not, like I'm not able to get them out on time, I guess, for the people. I feel bad for anybody that's doing that now, because now I have even less time for animation, which it sucks for me because I like doing it, but you know, it sucks for anybody who's like been paying attention to this channel to see like videos not coming up nearly as frequently. Let's see. Where's X-Men Brotherhood? Yeah, there you go. That's another series I want to finish. I have one episode realistically left to do, and they could end the whole series, and I just haven't done it yet. So, who knows? Should bring back Wolverine. I could. Matter of fact, if I ever do more update videos ahead of like newer animations that I would have coming out, he should come back. I mean, he's in the Godzilla movie. He just found a part in Aftermath. So, you know, he shows up. He's not as funny in those, though. That's the problem. Best duo ever. When I own every Marvel Legends X-Men figure, it's like you have the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, finally I'll have them all, and I'll just be able to, like, erase the memories of, you know, when Marvel Legends wasn't making any X-Men figures. Which, by the way, they got, like, 2 brand new waves coming out now. I know people have probably seen this already, and I don't have pictures of them, unfortunately. But they're finally doing their 90s Storm in the white costume with the cape and everything, and it looks awesome. They're doing like a 90s Iceman. They're doing like a Cyclops from his like blue and white X Factor costume. If anybody had the old school Toy Biz Cyclops, the first figure they made of him, it's that costume with like the big white X across the blue costume. Looks awesome. I love it. Nightcrawler, there's like Silver Samurai, like a lot of cool characters. What I do have pictures of, though, here we go, let's find them, is Storm Collectibles showed off some stuff at the Capcom booth at E3. We got a variant of this Street Fighter V Cammy that I believe I showed the original one maybe last week. I'm not 100% sure. But there's the variant colors. It's like green and red instead of like blue and black. You can see actually the regular one back there up in the top corner. So I dig it. I like both versions, so I don't know which one I'm going to get. If I wind up getting both of them, I wouldn't be surprised either. But this is what caught my eye. Look at this. You got this Guile in blue, and you can see the green one back behind him, which is awesome too. But I love the blue colors. I think they look amazing. For some reason, with Storm, I'm a big fan of the alternate colors, like the Player 2 versions. I don't know what it is. I just like them. And speaking of, we got Sagat looking like a menace in his white and red trunks. And I know we've talked about the regular Sagat on here before, the blue. So, man, I'm torn. I think I'm definitely going to get both of those variants that I just showed there, and possibly the variant Cammy. It's an expensive path I'm going down. Plus, I'm still waiting for when Baraka shows up at the local place near me so I can pick him up. And Wolverine was on Burnout Inc.'s Meltdown. That's right, yeah. Have I ever seen Jason Takes Manhattan? Probably. I think I've seen all the Friday the 13th movies, but it was so long ago that I don't remember which movie, like what happens in each one. Is it weird that I like Revenge over No Mercy, even though it's limited? No, because Revenge is just as fun as No Mercy, I think. It's just a matter of, like, do you like all the weird, like, New Japan wrestlers and all the All Japan Pro and, like, all the different rosters that they give you besides just WCW? Does that sound your wallet crying? Yes. I mean, my wallet cried as soon as I saw all those X-Men figures and as soon as I figured out these Storm figures are coming out. Street Fighter's another game series I suck at playing. I was always more of an MK guy. Honestly, yeah, me too. Like, as a kid, I was always more Mortal Kombat. Lately, I've been better at Street Fighter games than I was as a kid. But that's only because, like, I've had a little more experience with them. Because as a kid, I didn't have any of them. I had the Mortal Kombat. I think I had 2 for Sega. And 3 for Super Nintendo. So, like, I was playing those a lot more regularly than in any Street Fighter games. Let's see. Finished OG Dragon Ball. On to DBZ Season 1. Oh, okay. Very nice. See, once you start watching that, I'm actually going to be able to contribute to these discussions because I've still never seen original Dragon Ball. What I did see today, though, was the SH Figuarts Evil Majin Buu. He was in Barnes and Noble for $70. I mean, which is, I don't think, a bad price for that figure. He looks awesome though, and I was kind of tempted to get him, but I behaved myself because again, Bills. Carry the Spark says, really hate that they changed the positioning of the blades on the Baraka figure. I don't know why they did that. It doesn't make much sense to me to have it be like underneath his arm. I mean, if you twist his fist, it's going to look like it's coming from the correct spot, but that's going to be the only way you're going to make it look correct, is if he's got his fist like turned inward and upward. So I don't know. I wish they hadn't, but honestly, if the rest of the figure is good enough, I'll forgive him for that. Let's see. Did you see Logan? What did you think? Logan was really good. I mean, it didn't have really anything to do with any of the other X-Men movies, which I don't have a problem with. It's meant to be like an alternate reality, I guess, or a different universe, or a whole separate thing. It's like Deadpool. That doesn't have anything to do with any of the X-Men movies either, and you can do a lot more with it when you don't have those restrictions. But yeah, Logan was really good. Like, Logan might actually be my favorite out of all those X-Men movies that Fox made. Let's see. Don't know why they made so many versions of Street Fighter 2. I can't remember why. I don't remember if it was like production on Street Fighter 3 was not running the way they wanted it to. But yeah, like, Street Fighter is one of those video game series that's like, you had 2 and then you had like 6 other versions of 2 before you ever got 3. But I think even before you got 3, you got like a whole series of alpha games, which like had all different characters, and then 3 came out like long after the fact. I don't fully understand. Zombie says the blade thing on Baraka turned me away. I canceled my pre-order. Damn. I don't know. It's rough, man. Bash Crash says no. It doesn't stand for Juggalo Wrestling Federation, does it? No. Please God, no. No. Thankfully, no. Juggalos and no, there's no connection between me and any kind of juggalos. I did find though, through, I don't know if it was like Google searching or whatever, that there is, I don't know if this is like the main one or what, but there's a Facebook page for Juggalo Wrestling Federation that uses my JWF logo that somebody designed for me all those years ago. I tried to reach out to them and be like, guys, that's my logo. And like, somebody designed that for me. But, you know, they didn't freaking take it down. They're probably not even operating that page anymore, honestly. Let's see. Logan's favorite X-Men. Gambit, Blink, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Colossus, Pyro, and Juggernaut. Toad. That's a lot. I'm going to go with Magneto. First and foremost, probably. Wolverine's great. Cable's cool. Big fan of Cyclops. Not as much like when I was a kid, but lately, now that he's more like extremist, militant Cyclops, or he's basically just Magneto, except a good guy. Well, arguably a good guy. Yeah, that's the thing with X-Men, is there's so many good characters. Kaimo says, my library has all seasons of DBZ, but the first disc is checked out and overdue. I hate that person forever now. Joseph Miga says, and they never responded. No, it's one of those things, like, I don't think anybody even runs that spot anymore. If we're talking about the Juggalo Wrestling Facebook page from, God, like, this is going back quite a few years that I found this out. But I don't even know why. Like, I was looking up JWF, because I think I was trying to find the old website where I had my my Picture Federation stuff, like, from years ago. And I was like, if this stuff is still up, I'd like to maybe get some of that, see it again. And instead I came up with like Juggalo Wrestling and all this other stuff that I didn't know existed. And I was like, oh God, that's my logo. And they're just using it. I guess that's what I get for using WWE wrestlers in my animations. So if I can use somebody else's property, I guess they can use mine, even if it's a bunch of clowns. Let's see, Logan Doughty says, I really like Spider-Man Far From Home, Marvel Legends, Mysterio. However, Amazon doesn't have it on their Amazon. What the hell? Those will be around. I think movie figures are generally, like, once they start really releasing, they hit hard. So I don't think you'll have a problem finding them in stores. Favorite Kiss Demon match. Is it bad that I don't even remember like any Kiss Demon matches at all. That's awful. And he was such an integral part of WCW. Shivani out there being like, the best band in the world, Kiss. I'm like, I don't think he listens to Kiss. He's trying, but Flaming Dumpster Fire, you gotta go. Oh, all right, thank you for stopping in. What did I just miss? Alex version 1 asked, what is my opinion on Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead 3? I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm going to look into it. That sounds awesome. I loved Left 4 Dead 2, and it's been a lot of years. It's been like almost 10 years, hasn't it? I mean, Killing Floor 2 is a great substitute, but I definitely want to check out Left 4 Dead again. What did I think about the New Japan Pro Wrestling event? I didn't watch it, but, you know, I heard it was good. Let's see. Did I watch Double or Nothing? No, I still didn't watch that either. I'm way behind on my wrestling, both WWE and New Japan and AEW. Now they're out, but Amazon has them. Gotcha. Kiss made WCW broke. I can't recall a single Kiss Demon match either. Oh, we got people definitely having a Kiss battle in there. Are they awesome or do they suck? They're kind of Lightcore Hitman. Look at you go. Giving me a little bit of the chump change for the channel. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Lightcore Hitman. Swig a beer. With that contribution to the channel, I will, I don't know, I'll find something to put it towards that you'll see in a video at some point. You earn it. All I ask is one thing. Okay, what kind of favor are we going to have to do? Let's see, Space Case. It says Kiss is awesome. I had one of their greatest hits CDs. Honestly, some pretty good stuff on that. Detroit Rock City, that's a cool song. I liked some of their 80s stuff. I don't know if that's popular to like, but, you know, Lick It Up and... What is that? I Like It Loud? Or I Love It Loud, whatever that song is. It's like such big, corny arena rock, but I like it. That 80s ballad one, Forever, I think it's called. It's a good one. I've wanted Left 4 Dead 3 for 30 years now. Dude, yeah, you're telling me. Let's see. What if someone donated $5 billion? I guess, you know, I'd be able to finance that project that Chino asked me about up there before, about, like, what if money was not an issue? If I had $5 billion, money would not be an issue. I wouldn't go to work. I would just make something awesome and, I don't know, share it with the world somehow. I want a custom simple belt with the name Tyson for my figures, as my character in 2K19 is Rob Tyson. Oh, like a belt? Gotcha. Space Case equals Space Ace. I kind of wondered, but I didn't know. Like, I didn't know, you know, hey, I must have totally never asked that question. Nightcore Hitman said, did I see WWE 2K19 Buzz was on SmackDown? No, I didn't actually. I mean, I haven't watched SmackDown in forever, so I didn't see it. People wanted refunds for their concerts because they were lip syncing? Really? Wow. For the final episode... Oh, for the finale, X-Men Brotherhood used to have all the mutants fight. I'm pretty sure Magneto is probably going to start a bit of ruckus, and the X-Men are probably going to have to deal with him. And that's not a hint. I'm not saying that Ruckus is going to be in the episode, because Ruckus is an X-Men character. He's that guy from the Savage Land that just yells really loud. And I don't have an action figure of him, so he won't be in it. Superpowered Films prefers Black Sabbath. Yes, I mean, hands down for me too, but that's just that's just my preference, though. I mean, big Sabbath guy, and you know, Kiss is decent, pretty good, I guess, for me. Have I ever been to a live concert? Oh, LaToya. I've been to many. Let's see. I'm trying to think of the most recent one I went to, because I haven't been in a long time. Last year, I saw Alice Cooper. That was a lot of fun. The year before that, I saw Ghost. Also great. A lot of like rock and metal concerts I've been to. So I've seen Megadeth a bunch of times. I've seen Heaven and Hell, which is Black Sabbath's second lineup. Saw Metallica years ago. I saw like a lot of 80s bands that used to play at the Chance in Poughkeepsie because they just needed money, I guess. So I saw like Quiet Riot. Saw, oh God, a bunch. I can't think of a bunch. I saw Anthrax though. They were awesome too. Do I like NASCAR? I never really got into it. It's not my thing, I don't think. WCW put Vampiro, ICP, the Great Buddha, and the Kiss Demon all in a faction, probably because they all wore face paint. I'm surprised they didn't just shove Sting in there too and have him be like the leader or something. Alex V1 prefers Alice in Chains, but not the Rooster song. Well, you got my vote. Keep that Rooster song. Anybody else can have that. And R.I.P. D.O. indeed, yes. Let's see, without Sabbath, there wouldn't be Metallica. Well, good Metallica riffs. I mean, you could argue that. Metallica is like... I was just talking about this with, I forget, some guy that delivers stuff to my job, because I heard him playing Metallica in his truck one day. I was talking about how, like, the classical influences were on, like, the, not so much Kill 'Em All, but, like, Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. There was a lot of, like, classical music stylings in there. And that was all Cliff Burton, because you notice when he died, that stuff all went away. But it's still, like, I mean, I thought it was really cool. Do I remember Bring the Noise by Anthrax? Oh, yeah. It's awesome. Logan says, I should have Juggernaut, Mystique, Toad, Sabretooth, and Magneto's group, because all you have is Pyro and Avalanche. Well, I mean, to me, Sabretooth isn't really a team player. Mystique is... She's MIA in the Brotherhood universe. We don't know where she is. And same with Juggernaut. I don't know where he is either. Going to see Five Finger Death Punch next month. The Mansfield Reformatory, where they filmed Shawshank Redemption for Incarceration Fest. Five Finger Death Punch. That'll be cool. I bet they bring a lot of good energy. What is my real life job if I have one? I do have one. This does not make money, this YouTube thing. It's a fun hobby, and I do it because I enjoy it. But no, I do. It's like shipping and receiving at a warehouse for medical supplies. So, you know, just basic day labor, nothing great. If I had a job in WWF in like '95, I'd probably come to the ring with like a forklift and like a little strap thing so I don't fall off the high-rise machine. And, you know, Vince would name me something stupid. I gotta go, said Logan. All right, take it easy, man. Let's see. Peace Sells and Killing Is My Business are by far my favorite Megadeth albums, the Space Case. Oh, I saw that we're talking Megadeth now. I dig that. Joseph Mika, 90s Megadeth lineup is still the best. So, Nick Mensa and Marty Friedman. Yeah, those guys, they're awesome. I mean, I won't deny that. And that's probably... I mean, there's an argument to be made for Peace Sells, because that has some of my favorite Megadeth songs on it. But, I mean, you can't look at, was it Rust in Peace and Cryptic Writings and Countdown to Extinction and, you know, all those albums. Like, you can't think of that period and not recognize that it's, like, Megadeth's classic, like, untouchable period. I think even, like, the most diehard fans of their earlier stuff would probably agree with you. Let's see. Anybody see Arcade 1-Up releasing X-Men Arcade and a TMNT arcade unit? I didn't see the X-Men one, but I did see a TMNT one, and that's awesome. Let's see. Have I considered, says Cairo McConnon, new name? Let's see. Have I considered trying to find a video production or animation job? That's what I'm in college for. I make stop motions on my YouTube too. I check every now and again on you know, different websites and stuff to see if there's any kind of production jobs. And around here, there's like a lot of like local news stations. So I thought about maybe trying to get in with one of them. It would be like not animating, but it would be like editing and probably like filming and photography, maybe something like that. I went to school for broadcasting, so that would be kind of up the alley of that, like that field. So, I mean, I might go for something like that, because honestly, the warehouse is cool, pays me okay, but I'm not in love with it. Let's see. Do I like WCW over WWF? What's the difference between the shows? And Bash says, when am I going to get promoted to chief or commissioner? Commissioner McKay Random? I'd have to rebrand the channel, and I'd have to grow a mustache. But yeah, the difference between the shows, and I can only speak on when I watched it, which would have been like 98, 99. WCW had bigger, more recognizable household names, except for like Stone Cold, but they didn't do anything with them. It's a lot like today, WWE. They got all these really world-renowned wrestlers who are awesome, and they don't do anything with them. They make them have dumb matches, and they make them say this word for word, and they make them do all this stuff that they probably don't really believe in anything they're doing. Whereas WWF at the time was about like pushing their younger guys and making everybody lower on the card like do the best they can so they can get better opportunities and be viewed by the audience as like a credible performer. Now, not necessarily thinking like that they're going to skyrocket to the top. I don't think anybody ever watched like Val Venus and thought he was going to be a world champion, but when he came out, he always had good matches. So that's what people liked. Let's see. Remember when Goldberg used Crush 'Em as his entrance theme? Oh, God, yeah. That was short-lived, wasn't it? And wasn't that tied in with, like, a movie, too? Or no, never mind. I think I'm thinking of, what is that? Ready to Rumble? God. Crush 'Em, forgot about that song. Zombie said, sorry, it's a Marvel cabinet. Let's see. I missed something, I think. Remember when the Road Warriors came out to Iron Man by Black Sabbath? That was before my time, but I do remember like reading that that's what they did a while back. Bash says, what is my dream job then? Honestly, I'd like to... something in editing. Something where I could just sit there and put things together, because I like doing that. Like, if that's part of what I like doing about my own videos too, is like just... I mean, I have a little more freedom with my own stuff because I'm making it exactly the way I want it. So putting it together isn't really hard. But I do like... I don't know. I like taking something that is something and making it better and condensing it and consolidating it into something even cooler. So, hey, something like that, I think, probably. I feel like WWF is focused on their own show, while WCW is trying so hard to take WWF out of business. I feel like a little bit of history is going to repeat itself, because WWE will be so preoccupied with who wants to go to AEW and who wants to do this and that, whereas AEW is just going to do its own thing, and if they're good at it, they're going to make themselves more famous just by being a better wrestling company than WWE. Now, they're not going to be like a bigger name or more well-known or anything, but they might... They're certainly going to get some fans from it. Universal Soldier 2 movie, yeah. Yes, Bash, I do. Remember when Vince Russo also came out to Iron Man by Turner Network Productions? Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like maybe like 2 R's in iron or something, just to make it just that much a little bit different. Let's see. Was WWF scripted back then? Oh, well, I mean, the promos? No. You had like bullet points, I think, that people gave you, and you're like, yeah, just talk about this and this. But they were made to like kind of talk on the fly, which is why if you watch, like, everybody talked differently. So it's not like everybody's reading off the same piece of paper backstage and just memorizing things word for word. Like The Rock, if The Rock had to read off of a piece of paper when he was like becoming The Rock, he wouldn't exist today. He would just be some guy who wrestled for a couple of years and kind of was forgotten by everybody because he was doing exactly the same things everybody else was doing. Joseph Amiga said, not tagging with my brothers. No, I mean, you know, I'll leave the physicality of pro wrestling to, you know, to my brothers who took my training and excelled with it. They've really made names for themselves, and I'm proud of them over in AEW. Let's see. If AEW makes their own action figures, will you buy them and or incorporate them into JWF? If they look good with the like current Mattel Elites, I don't see why I wouldn't. As they would have to fit aesthetically, so it wouldn't be like putting one of the old Jax figures in with a modern Mattel figure because the scaling is way off. But if they look good together, I'd be all for it. Especially if like Cody Rhodes or somebody like that, I think it would be cool. Or like Kenny Omega. Let's see. Also, if another... Oh, I see. Space Case first. What's my favorite Jax Classic Superstar figure that you'll never get rid of? Good question. It's a bit of a cheat, but it's a deluxe. The classic deluxe Bret Hart from, I think it was Series 6 or 7? I don't know. It was the later one, like the Hart Foundation tag team gear, which I used in my Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart video. The first one they released had, like, I think it was like the splatter paint gear, but he had like a weird like screaming head sculpt that I didn't really like. But the second figure I thought they did a better job on. And my answer actually would have been the Undertaker and Kane 2-pack, the WrestleMania 14 2-pack, the deluxe figures, but sadly that's disqualified because I already did get rid of them a long time ago. And Cairo said, if another toy company takes over for WWE after Mattel, why buy those figures? And I guess the answer is if they're good figures, I'd probably buy some of them, yeah. And then I would get started on a whole new collection just because I'm a sucker like that. When WWF became WWE, did I stop watching wrestling? No, I was still into it for a while after that. I don't remember specifically when they became WWE, but that wasn't what made me say, like, oh, I'm not watching this. Like, that was not far after that, I think, was about when I got tired of it, but, yeah, no, I don't remember exactly when that was in relation to when I stopped wrestling, but it wasn't, like, right away. There's Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and then there's Old Buck, Captain McKay. That's it. I bet they do the LJN style figures for AEW. Yeah, I mean, at least a couple. Latoya says, why is Vince Russo so hated? Presently, I think he's so hated because he refuses to acknowledge that he ever did anything wrong in wrestling, and he takes credit for ideas that very clearly weren't his. If you're looking strictly at like his work in wrestling, he was always doing such off-the-wall, zany stuff, like totally like basically saying, okay, we're starting all over. Everybody give us your title belts. We're doing a whole new thing, and we're starting over. That was WCW. They basically just canceled everything that was going on and started fresh, which made no sense. Like, but I don't know. That's, I think, why people hated him then. And he got a little too in his own head and started booking himself to like win matches against wrestlers and all this other stuff. And it's like, you can't be doing that, man. Let's see. If I had put a figure me through a table, who would it be? Oh, okay, so if I'm on JWF getting put through a table, probably like Cactus Jack or somebody like that. Although I guess it would be Mankind because Mick Foley is presently Mankind on JWF, so maybe him. Yeah, it'd be Mankind. There was a period where every Jax figure had giant heads. There really was. And you know what? Mattel has had their toe dipped in the water of giant head figures too. I don't know if that's... It seems like it stopped, but around the time that Lord Steven Regal figure and some of those came out, they were looking a little big for their bodies. Let's see. If AEW becomes successful, could we get another invasion like in 2001 but not a flop? I don't think... If there's ever going to be another invasion, it's going to be because AEW isn't successful. Because the invasion only happened because WCW closed. Like, so... AEW would have to like fold up before all those guys came back to WWE or came to WWE. Doot 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 doot. Lacey Evans theme. Oh, I'm gonna have to go listen to it now. Let's see. My favorite Chris Benoit match is Jericho Royal Rumble 2001 and his WrestleMania 17 match with Kurt. Was there a Royal Rumble match with Kurt Angle too? I feel like there was, and I think that's the one that I remember being like, yeah, this is awesome. Alex version 1. Is Jim Cornette hated for being out of touch? Jim Cornette, I don't think it's so much being out of touch that people hate him for, but I think that it's his very vocal like disdain towards everything current in wrestling. So imagine you're doing something right now and you got this old man shouting at you on Twitter because you're not doing it the way that he saw it done 30 years ago. You probably don't have much patience for a thing like that. And Jim Cornette, he's very smart. You know, he understands pro wrestling, but like, unfortunately, he goes on Twitter and goes on these rants and everything about how these people and this guy and that guy is killing the business, not realizing that the business he's talking about has been dead for 20 plus years. You know, it's not the same business as it was when he loved it, and he thinks it is, and that's his downfall, is because he's not able to connect the dots and see, actually, no, the thing I like is long gone, and it became this. So, that's Jim Cornette in a nutshell. Speaking of zany stuff, how about Billy Zane and Demon Knight? 10 out of 10 performance. That's a good one. Tales from the Crypt in general is really good, but Billy Zane and Demon Knight is a cinematic achievement. Let's see. Do I remember the mini test bone crunching figure? The one with the black pants? It was so weird. I don't think I ever had a bone crunching test. I had the Titantron Live one with like the silver pants, but I didn't have the bone crunching one. I don't believe. Because he had like a shirt, right? Or no, was he on the same body as Shawn Michaels? The same upper body? I can't remember off the top of my head. Mattel had awful quality control for a little while. Yeah, that was my issue. That whole series that had like the Dudleys, there was it the Hart Foundation I had some issues with. Like William Regal's legs were on backwards. It was like all kinds of stuff. Let's see. Odd question. Is it bad that I like Christian's waterproof blondes theme best? I don't think I even know the theme that you're talking about. But those new style of basics, says Carry the Spark, look terrible and cheap. Yeah, I haven't bought any basics in a long time. And it's too bad because the basic Rhino they released looked 10 times better than the Elite, but I just don't like the limited articulation. The fact that, I do have some basics, the older style, and I'm like, well, these still look cool, and they still move around decent, but the newer ones don't even give you that, so, yeah. Let's see, thoughts on Desperado, 1995 movie. I'd have to watch it again. I remember I liked it when I saw it when I was younger, but that's one I'm going to have to revisit. Let's see, remember the real odd old school Jack's Road Dog? Yeah, the white shirt and the Pod Dog and Mr. B.A. Yeah, that tag team. Let's see. BCA test with black pants was ridiculously small for some reason. Tiny, short legs, no shirt. It sucked. BCA's, Jack's, I guess in general, but bone crunching figures in particular, they had no concept of scale. There was, the first Big Show figure that came out was, the same size as the Vince McMahon in the same series. Yeah, I think Kane was slightly taller than all the other figures, which I was like, okay, that's awesome. Good job, Jax. Let's see. It's basically his theme he had when he had his world title feud with Orton, but it's a female band. That's the only difference. Oh, okay. Let's see. WWE could invade AEW if WWE dies. I just want to cross over in wrestling. The best bet you're going to have is New Japan and AEW and stuff like that, because WWE is not about to be, lending their wrestlers anywhere. I was actually surprised when Chris Jericho first did it for New Japan. I was, shocked, honestly. Let's see. Nightcore Hitman. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the same Road Dog I am. He had, a bandana on his whole head, and he had a white shirt and black pants, but I always called him Pod Dog because it was supposed to say RD, but the D was, in the way of the R, so it looked like a PD. And, he came in the 2-pack with Billy Gunn, which had Mr. B.A. on the back of his shorts because he couldn't have ass on a kid's toy. Machine Dragon Nero, what's up? Mine had a black shirt, I think. They've repainted it a couple of times. Oh, man. Some of the worst bone-crunching action figures I ever got, it was in a box set. And I only got the set because it had the belts in it. But it was the New Age Outlaws, it was The Rock, and I want to say maybe Stone Cold? I think maybe, yeah. See, because there was a championship belt set that came out previously, and it had, Undertaker, Owen Hart, Rocky Maivia, and Bulldog, I think. But this was a newer championship belt set. And God, the figures were just awful. Like, the New Age Outlaws looked nothing like him. The Rock looked pretty much nothing like him. I just bought it just because of the belts. Let's see. Not gonna lie, when DDP took off the motorcycle helmet, that was one of the best face reveals. Yeah, if you go back and watch that, like, the crowd is like, when they figure out that it's DDP, they pop. They're so on board. And then the storyline played out. Bash, I always wanted that white DX shirt in real life. It is really cool. I don't remember anybody I know actually having had it. So I'm not, for all I know, it was just a shirt they made up for the toys. Like, let's see. I think the bone crunching action figures are better than the Flex Force figures from Mattel, ironically. Oh, they still got a charm to them. Do I find Cody Rhodes to be hypothetical because he has a female wrestler like Bayley, but subliminally dissed Bayley on Twitter? I'm guessing you mean hypocritical. He has a female wrestler like Bayley, but subliminally dissed Bayley on Twitter. This is all news to me. I don't know what Cody Rhodes put on Twitter. Remember the microaggression action figures from Jax? They're like the UFC minis, about the size of a Lego figure. I remember like 3-inch ones that were like the size of like Star Wars figures or like the little Marvel Universe figures. But if that's the ones you're talking about, I do remember some of those. Joseph Miga, we just don't get pops like that anymore. They don't know how to surprise anybody anymore, I guess. Let's see. Machine Dragon Nero. I'm hoping to get Star Wars The Black Series, Lord Snoke, and his throne, or another Marvel legend. They had the Snoke on the throne at GameStop a while back. They might even still. I don't know. But I was pretty sure it might even been like on clearance for a while. So check your GameStops. You might still find one. Anyone who disses Bayley is on my shit list. Bayley, I mean, I don't know enough about her to really have much of an opinion. I've seen some matches with her in it, but they weren't like just Bayley against somebody. It was always like those weird WrestleMania like tag team matches or multi-woman matches or something. So really never got to see much of her. I'm gonna have to fire up the network at some point and watch some of her like NXT matches. Joseph Miga. Let's see. Loudest pop in recent memory. It's probably the Hardys at Mania a few years ago. Yeah, that was up there. Let's see. I'm calling Benoit for Hall of Fame in the future. I called China and she made it, so Benoit next. Yeah, but the difference is China didn't murder her spouse and child. That's going to keep Benoit out of the Hall of Fame. It just is. Last legit pop was Hardy Boys' surprise return at WrestleMania. I can't remember a good one since. All right, well, that's 2 for 2 there with the Hardy Boys. What would be cool if WWE came out with life-size action figures, you get the exact height of the wrestlers, you'd pay a lot of money. They'd basically be just life-size statues. Kind of cool, though. You just have, like, classic, like, Attitude Era Kane just standing in your window. So, like, people walk by your house, they just see Kane. Just Bronson says, Crash Holly for Hall of Fame. Might as well. All right, we'll take a little bit more here, 1 or 2 more comments, and then we'll sail off for the next week. Oh, before it comes up, the 4th of July, as you may know, is on a Thursday. So I have to shift a few things around that week, so I might wind up streaming maybe Tuesday night that week. We'll see what happens, and I'll put an update or let people know when it's going to be. But so if that happens, I'll let you know. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Dana Brooke for Hall of Fame. There you go. Let's see. Mike or Hitman is hell-bent on Benoit. Everyone claims that, but tell you it's not. I mean, Chavo Jr. confirmed it. If they don't, and miraculously became the owner, he will be in Hall of Fame. I think Chavo confirmed. Did Chavo not I don't get it. Did he deny that Benoit killed his family? Because I don't know. That's weird. Thursday, Raw Thursday, taped. There you go. The life-size figure will bend like Mattel figures. 6'5" plastic rock standing in your bedroom corner facing off against 6' Cena. You'd need a big house, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. He proved Benoit's innocence in several interviews. I don't think he proved anything because nobody believes Benoit's innocent, apparently except Chavo. So I'm going to have to look into this after. But that said, my name is Captain McKay. You know where you can find me next week. Same Vader time, same Captain channel. We will catch you next time. Later on.